'Cause I know that you know that I know.
Hello, I'm Joel, I'm from TLS, and today I'm at South Lane Studios with Jack Howard. How are you feeling, Jack?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Your recent release you did by yourself, Drowsy, how was that recorded?
It was recorded in my bedroom in North London. Obviously written by me in that bedroom again, and it was about I'd moved up to London probably 5 months prior, and I was writing lots of songs and kind of getting into the community and stuff, and I realised that I had nothing else to do. I was quite lonely, didn't have a lot of mates, and I obviously have a lot of mates down in Brighton, but because I moved city, I just didn't see any of them. So that song kind of originated out of that, working too much and not finding a way to switch off really, and I wrote a song about it. So then I produced a demo, and I was going to go to my good mate Scoot Monty, who normally produces all my stuff, but I thought I'll have a crack at it myself, and ended up working out really well, and a good friend of mine, Colin, mixed it and came back and it didn't sound terrible, which is great.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, I love the song. It's a brilliant song, yeah. You got those inspirations of like soul, hip hop, got some jazz in there. Are there any sort of like artists that spring to mind when you think about sort of where you get that sound from?
The inspiration changes. I get asked this question a lot because, like, you know, bios or like, you know, it's a big thing that people compare you to other people because it's very easy to. But it changes over projects. So my earliest stuff, some of the first songs I ever released was really heavy pop and funk. I loved funk when I was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Right about now, it's Jeff Buckley, it's Tame Impala. It's still that kind of soul stuff. Love D'Angelo. Right now, it's getting to the darker side of things. I'm listening to quite a bit of like indie rock. Gengar are a big influence on Drowsy because of the way they do kind of upbeat tunes but make them sound a bit darker.
Coming off sort of your recent collaboration you did with Flourish for Words Can't Describe, have you got any more sort of collaborations in the pipeline or anyone you sort of like to work with?
Yeah, me and Flourish have worked together quite a bit. Hopefully we've got quite a bit more coming because we work together very well. You know, you go into a lot of sessions with a lot of people, and sometimes it doesn't always click, but you've just got to keep trying, because there's some artists that I work with currently that maybe the first songs didn't click, but it's that thing of you got to keep trying, keep dipping in the well, and hopefully something really good comes out. People I'd love to, like, these kind of dream collaborations is always like, I'd love to do a tune with Tom Misch. But I would also love to do a tune with Flight, this kind of acoustic band, kind of Beatles-esque type of thing. I grew up from about 14 to 18, I grew up on those songs.
Obviously, we've had the pleasure of recording here today and doing a little performance here at South Lane Studios. How would you say, how important, in your words, are these sort of places in terms of like the growing independent industry for sort of like independent artists?
Number one. Grassroots rehearsal studios and studios are number one for, it's the same as the venues in Brighton. When I started in first year of university, we got a free slot at Small Pond or Brighton Electric, and that was probably the most helpful thing ever, because if you didn't do that, you were rehearsing around someone's house. And the reason we got so tight as a band and I found so many great players and all that type of stuff is, one, we played the same small grassroots venues month on month, you know, just going around in circles, Prince Albert, Green Door, again and again, and that made us tight. And then if we had a place like this, you know, South Lanes, just as I left Brighton, South Lanes were kind of building. But, you know, even now when I come back, the amount of times I check if they're free or if they're open, and, you know, I work with Sam on some stuff, and it's always a place you can come and create. And I think it's incredibly important. It's incredibly important.
In your terms of your career, do you look back on it fondly with, is there a certain defining moment that you have where you felt like things were really kicking off? You know, you felt like, oh, I could do this. This is something that's happening. I
try not to. I got stuck for a bit in that kind of thinking of like, when is it going to happen? And there's this idea of like kind of, there's a static 2D image of your success that you never reach, because you're always saying, well, when I get there, then it's going to sort itself out. But if I was to look back over the last 3 years, just before COVID, we played sold out Colours Hoxton. And we've been playing in London for, I want to say, a year. So we went from playing a 100-cap venue in London to a 300-cap venue in London within a year. And that was a point where I thought, oh, maybe we've actually got it. Maybe we're actually, because it was a lot of hard work, and it's this thing of like, not to keep throwing sayings in, but when it rains, it pours, because you'll be working, playing gigs, and you might not get the right gig, and it might not be the best gig, or you might be playing to no people, but if you just keep playing, then you get to that point. And I think being able to produce for myself as well was a good point. Well, I thought, because when you become self-sufficient, when you can create everything yourself so that you can just constantly put things out, that's also a point, I'd say.
Yeah, that's about it, really. Okay. Yeah, it was great to chat with you, though.
Thanks for having me.
No, there's no problem, yeah. Yeah, I've been Joel, you've been...
Jack Howard.
Yeah, and this has been TLS. Thank you for watching.